Podcast like a motherfucker.
Welcome to Hammer Time Podcast, episode number
106.
It's me, Henrypmiller, and I have with me online this time.
Yeah, Casimir the Swede.
Yeah. And
as well as the new crew member, I guess.
Yeah, we have Aurelia here. We need a special name for Aurelia. Aurelia the pterodactyl.
Yeah, she'll feature in your future Dino, Eldar, whatever.
Yeah,
stuff.
Exactly. As soon as I start the Exodites, it's going to be sound bites of Aurelia every single show.
Dude, that would be even better when she's old enough to how to speak, and you can teach her how to do dinosaur sounds as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was telling her, Patty, that if we had a boy, I would teach her how to do the goat. but unfortunately, we had a girl, so no goat.
Well,
we can teach her how to do goat noises. That's probably as fun. Okay, so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a plan for tonight. We have a big event. I say a big event. We have a small event next weekend in Dublin. So we're all flying out to see the boys in Ireland, and we're going to play a bit of 40k. So I think the main topic of the show is going to be sort of leading up to that event, and then hopefully if I get this out in time, then we can do another one in Dublin. I have a post event because we're both there on the Monday.
Exactly. Monday seems like a good day for podcasting. Maybe we can record some shenanigans with the boys, but we'll see how enthusiastic they are.
Yeah, or maybe Sunday evening. If because if we're having drinks on Saturday, then maybe Sunday will be a bit more calmer, and we'll have the impetus to have a few drinks and do some recording.
Well, I mean, last time I was in Dublin, I fought this because then I was also going back on Monday, but I was going back on my Monday fucking 7 a.m. flight or something, and I was like, oh well, we drank fucking, Thursday, or it was I think it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I was like, probably we'll be calm on Sunday. No, that was the worst night.
Well, also we're not working on Monday, so we have the option. I was also thinking okay, well if I'm not working on Monday, then I could maybe drink on Monday and pull a sickie on Tuesday. But let's see. My wife's looking at me like, what are you planning?
I'm probably I'm having pints during the day on Monday, but we're leaving or my flight is kind of it's at 5 or something.
Mine's 7, so we can day drink and just have one or two.
Exactly. Plenty of time to sober up, I'd say.
Exactly. So yeah, that's going to be the main topic of the show. But we've got lots of other things that we're going to do before we get into that. So the first thing I wanted to introduce is the new drinking game, and I had some inspiration on this, and so I played my first, let's say semi-competitive game of 40k a few weeks ago with a guy in the local club. And he introduced me to actually a lot of different new words. I learned a lot of new words in this game. But one of the most interesting new word that I learned was nipple gun.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So this is a thing.
Sense.
So nipple guns are a thing. And so my inspiration was a little bit like when we had the game with the Ninth Age, that you have to call it by the correct Ninth Age name. The new game is called nipple guns. So you have to call the guns by the correct name, unless it's a nipple gun, and if you call the nipple gun by the actual name, then it's also incorrect. So always, if it's a nipple gun, it has to be a nipple gun, and if it's not a nipple gun, it has to be the actual name of the gun, because there's some quite funny names of guns as well. I mean, he was playing Space Marines, and he had these insanely complicated names of guns.
Oh, I'm gonna fail at this so much because all the Space Marine guns are new from when I was a kid. All the standard ones are still kind of there for the chaos stuff.
Dude, I know nothing, so...
normal stuff, but the Space Marines have in Plasma, Eradicator, Disintegrator, something. Well...
Exactly. So, I mean, we're probably not going to be knowing them what they are at the start, but this is going to be the underlying game. So, and if it's a nipple gun, then you have to call it a nipple gun.
Yeah. Perfect. So nipple gun is stuff mounted on the chest, basically, or?
Yeah, it's a nipple gun.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. I think this is especially on like dreadnoughts and shit like that.
My wife is currently pumping milk and pointing towards her nipples that are currently squirting milk into like the nipple thing, and she's like, "I've got nipple guns." And now she's shaking her head.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it's also in tone with the new baby.
Yeah, exactly. It's on brand.
And now I'm going to start calling my wife's nipples the nipple guns.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise you have to drink, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds-
It's true. Otherwise, I would have to go into the fridge, open up a beer, just to have a sip of beer, just because I don't call your boobies nipple guns.
Yes, please.
Okay, so moving on. That's the game.
Perfect.
I want to go
Yeah.
into a little bit of news because there's been quite a lot of 40k news recently. There was like some sort of like a fancy event in America, I guess, where they released loads of new models and talked about some new stuff coming out. So I just want to quickly go over that. Like, we're not super experts on what's going on, and we probably don't remember everything, but there's some definite like new cool stuff that's come out. So
yeah, you want to focus on the 40k part or on everything that was revealed?
Yeah, the 40k stuff. Like, I mean, as much as I'm interested in the old world things, like, I'd rather just focus on the 40k stuff for now. So
Yeah, sure.
So we've got the Black Templars Codex have come out. Like, I don't know really
They
what
got
Black
a new
Templars.
character, right? Or
Yes.
something?
I don't really know what Black Templars are, but they look quite cool. They're like kind of crusade-y type guys, and they have like a
Yeah,
standard
exactly.
bearer thingy, which is quite cool. It has like an orc head.
What thingy?
A standard bearer.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they're really like the, let's say, yeah, the Crusader Knight themed or like the medieval knights kind of themed chapter.
Yeah.
You know, like each Space Marine chapter is like, oh, what is a thing that nerds like? And then they theme that like the chapter around it. So, you know, Fast Sons is like nerds like Egyptians, right? Okay, this is the Egyptian one. Like, oh, nerds like Vikings. Oh, that's Space Wolves. You know, like
Yeah.
it's basically like that.
Yeah, and this is the Crusades version of that, and it's
Exactly.
so to me, they look a bit like Bretonians in Space Marine armor.
Yeah, exactly. They're essentially for people. You know, oh, Klexe, what do you want? Oh, yeah, I want play Bretonians, but in space. Okay, cool. Here.
Yeah, exactly. So they've got a quite nice guy. It's called a Crusade Ancient.
Yep.
Already struggling, and I've got a sneezing baby on my arm.
So like the one thing I didn't get about this guy is like that he didn't have like just a big fuck off flag. Like I don't really like the banners that are like around just a lot of random stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's a bit over the top, isn't it? There's a lot of chains and things like that, but maybe that's part
Yeah.
of the fluff. I don't know.
I mean, I have a theory, and my theory is that the idea is that it's like a cool banner that you can paint even if you can't do freehand. You know?
Ah, yes. Yes.
So that's why they have so much bullshit on it, because they do realize that most people actually can't do freehand, or don't want to do freehand. Whereas for me, I'm like, no, but give me just a big cloth, you know, like the
Yeah.
beat, have fun.
The shield version of the banner looks more fun because you can do like some heraldry and stuff.
Yeah, sure. But still, like if I was playing this faction, I'd probably just get a different banner, stick it on.
Yeah, quite possibly, or just have a bit more fun with the conversion of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then the next one is called an execrator, which to me sounds a little bit too much like an excrementer, like he's just like doing shits all the time. But it wouldn't be the name that I chose. I mean, you know, sometimes when you read a word and you read it wrong the first time, and then it just is that in your head for a long time. Like when I first read this, I was like, "He's a pooper," or like what? Like what's going on here? But it's quite a cool model. It's quite dynamic. It's like a lot of movement. Looks really good.
Yeah.
He looks like he
this
needs
one's
to
fine.
do a big shit though. He's a bit angry.
This used to be like the standard for all the old Space Marines, because they had these like weird squatting positions that were really wide-legged. So it was like it just looked like all the Space Marines needed poo.
What happened to this? I mean, the Space Marines eat, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
So that means that the poop.
My understanding is that it's kind of like an astronaut armor or like a Dune steel suit or something. It just repurposes everything.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. I actually rewatched Dune the other day, and my wife was like, "What happens to the poop?" And I was like, "Well, funny-
Yeah, let me tell you.
you see that little thing that goes in their nose."
It will be a delicious snack for later.
Yeah. And then they've got a new combat patrol, or like a reboxed combat patrol, let's say. I really like this character guy with the sword in the air. Looks really cool. I don't know if you're looking at the same thing as me.
I'm trying to find it, but I think that's the Emperor's Champion or some shit, maybe.
Yeah, I think so too. I'll just send you a link to what I'm looking at, and then you can follow along. Yeah, that's quite a cool model. I think I'm always like, if I was doing Space Marines, what chapter would I do? These guys are quite cool, but more like the heraldry thing is interesting to me.
They're also like, one thing that's nice about them is that they're all kind of wearing tabards, right? So you get like a different texture to paint rather than just Space Marine armor.
Yeah.
Because I think the standards, like new Space Marines, they're very they're great for doing like a super fast army because you just spray them one color, paint a few details, and then you technically have a painted guy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can
but it's kind of boring after a while.
Yeah, and this breaks it up a bit, and it allows you to add some more colours to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on, we have the dice, we have the cards, and then we have Grey Knights. So the new Grey Knight Codex, I don't know if this is interesting or relevant, but it's cool. And then...
Yeah, I think people were kind of disappointed because I think they essentially got nothing new except one character, which is the guy with the burning sword, which, to be fair, looks really cool. It's like I think he's in the combat patrol.
Yeah,
I think that guy's new, and then everything else is just reboxed, and people are a bit salty about the fact that they didn't get any new remake of guys in Primaris armor or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same with the Eldar release. Like, obviously there was a lot of new models, but the combat patrol was basically all the old models.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, probably fine, but there must be a reason why they're doing this, right? Maybe, I don't know if they have a future release schedule where they're going to bring out new models, but I mean, this guy looks completely different to the Marines around him.
Yeah. I mean, I think they have the problem that if you remake anything, you have to kind of remake all of it, and probably they just didn't have space in the release schedule to make the release new kits for all of that. And they thought, well, I mean, they're still relatively okay, I would say.
I guess if you're going to do something, you're going to do a character, right? And makes sense. Yeah. But it's a really cool model.
Yeah, for sure. Always love a burning sword.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they do sculpt fire on swords pretty well.
Yeah. I'm not sure about this guy, this robot with the guy that looks like is a robot wearing a baby carrier. It looks kind of funny.
It's the worst thing ever. This is also to me, it's one of the reasons not to play this faction, because that Maul has always, or at least when I knew any of the rules about them, he was the best thing you could get. And you're like, oh, you want 4 of these? You're like, I want 4 of the ugliest Maul in the game. Okay, cool. And I pay how much per guy?
Do you know what it is? Is it a knight or what is it?
So I think the thing is that they don't like dreadnoughts, so then instead they have these mech suits where they essentially strap a guy into a big, kind of, it looks a little bit like a, something that they would do in Avatar or whatever, strap a guy in and he has a
Grandmaster in a Nemesis Dread Knight.
Yeah. But so it's just a big mech suit or whatever for a Space Marine, but it just doesn't it doesn't make sense why he's in a baby carrier.
Yeah,
why isn't he inside a suit? It
literally looks like the thing that I bought for my daughter that she sits in and I can walk around with her.
Yeah, exactly.
But surely
maybe you should also
surely you just shoot him and then it doesn't work.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when he's not wearing a helmet,
Yeah,
just right in the face.
Why wouldn't he be inside it?
Yeah, maybe you should also you see between his legs, there's this big eye, Inquisition icon with a huge chain, a huge pimp icon just hanging between his legs. Maybe you should get one of those.
He's just compensating for something.
Yeah, for sure.
Just got a big hanging, swinging, thick icon on a chain. And I mean, let's be honest. He's a space marine. He probably doesn't have anything down there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm still of the opinion that every space marine is like a Ken doll down there. It's completely smooth. It's like when they put in the whatever gene seed, that just like the dick just gets like absorbed into the system.
So all the testosterone just goes into the other parts of the body.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's just like you have the like massive balls in there to just like pump it all the time, but they're inside.
Yeah, it's just like extra organs somewhere. He's got like 2 hearts and 2 testicles somewhere up inside.
Yeah, it's like there's there's some fluff thing where they have like the anatomy of a space marine, and they show like, oh, the extra heart is here or whatever, and I'm just imagining the testicle like a weird location. It's like in the shoulder or whatever.
So like two like an appendix, and then next to the appendix is like 2 little balls just pumping testosterone into his body.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay. Next we've got like a Space Wolves Combat Patrol. I don't know if this is a new one or if it's like a rebox but it seems.
So I think most of the molds are new, but they were released in like a, they're already released, but now they get like a combat patrol with the new sculpts.
Okay, cool. I quite like these ones. This is like another faction that if I was going to do Space Marines, I might do Space Wolves. But
so the guy that I used to play with, when I used to play Warhammer 40K as a kid, he played Space Wolves, and he was like basically just better than me. Like at the time, he was a better painter, and he was better at the game as well, or at least at making lists, So I've lost against Space Wolves so many times, and I'm so salty. Like I'm still, every time I see Space Wolves, I'm like, fucking Space Wolves, like so overpowered, because when you're a kid, you don't realize that you can maybe find overpowered stuff in your list, You're just like, oh, but my friend's list is too good.
So Space Wolves are your nemesis.
Yeah, exactly. It's good. I haven't played against Space Wolf for a long time, but
Okay.
Gonna get my revenge eventually.
Noted. Tyranids also got Combat Patrol. Seems to be like a lot of Combat Patrols coming out, which is good, I guess, because I guess generally they're a bit more discounted than other stuff.
Yeah, I think they already have. I think this is like a second Combat Patrol, so I guess they have like a different one as well, which is good because then you can get all the stuff. I guess like this is just stuff that's not in the other one, I assume.
Like I'm not super familiar with all the models, obviously, because I'm quite new. But this thing with the cannon thing on the back looks awesome. Like the little beetle, the beetle thing with the cannon looks quite cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the latest releases. That one's really good. I also like the Tyrant Guard. I think they're called. It's like slightly more armored, medium-sized guys.
Yeah, they're really cool. Okay, and then there's some Black Library stuff, and the Grey Knights book, and I want to touch on the Grey Knights thing because that came up recently, whether it was today or yesterday. I guess people have started to read the book, and there seems to be like a change in the fluff to the Grey Knights, right? We were discussing this on the chat today. So maybe this can be like, what does Henry know about the Grey Knights, briefly?
Sure.
Or what does Henry know about this, and then you can correct me and tell me where I'm wrong.
So I wanna ask you, in your Horus Heresy reading, have you gotten to any Grey Knight stuff? Have you read the Garrow yet? I think the book is called.
Nothing.
Okay.
So I know very little about the Grey Knights. I know that they're sort of like Space Marines that are psychers, and I know that they're they were, say, built to fight the demons.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, and there's some sort of conspiracy theory, and there was this, what was it called, the Terminus? Is that the word?
Yeah, it's I think Terminus Decree or some shit.
Yeah, so this is the controversy, and so it was something to do with that the Grey Knights were given this Terminus Decree from the Emperor, and they can only look at it when he's dead or something like that, and it can only be looked at by the Grandmaster, but currently there's no Grandmaster, so they can't look at it. And then, whether it was this book or whether it was another book, but recently in a new book, there's been an update to this decree, and it's basically saying what the decree was, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, first off, that's usually bad, I think, because I mean, these things are way more interesting when you don't actually know them, rather than when they're spelled out and you're like, okay, well, now it's not so interesting anymore. But yeah, so how it used to be, I also would preface that I'm not like super familiar with Grey Knights because I was always really annoyed by them because like they were.
All I'm
they
hearing
were
is that
the
you
thing.
just hated all the Space Marine factions.
I mean, it was like they came out when I was a kid, and for the first time as their own book. And it was and I obviously played Chaos and Demons, and they came out as a book, which was just like, oh, by the way, if you play against demons, you get like all these benefits, and you can basically not lose. And it's just like, okay, thanks, dude. And then of course everybody bought the Grey Knight army because it was the new hotness, and stuff. You're like, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. And that to me is like a bit. I guess it's okay to have a bit rock paper scissors in the game, but
yeah, I think it's maybe more balanced now. But when it came out, it was really like back then. There was absolutely no balance at all, and it was very much like they had like army-wide special rules that only activated when you played against demons, and it was like demons function like they have invariable saves, which is like the whole thing with demons is you have that save that can't disappear. And they just had like all our weapons actually just make this save disappear. So if you have demons, you have no armor and no save, and you're like, okay, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so the Grey Knights essentially are they're like the anti-demon or anti-chaos strike force or whatever. And in the Horus Heresy, there's some books like talking about their founding, and they're essentially not founded like a normal legion or chapter where they have like a Primarch or whatever who makes them, but they're instead kind of they take like the best or whatever from all these different legions that. So I think in the book Garrow that you follow like a guy from the Death Guard, and he's like one of the first guys helping to like he gets the the mission to found this Grey Knights force or something.
Yeah, so I think that's probably in the next book because he's just got to. I read Flight of the Eisenstein, and he's just got to Terra and about to go on a mission, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the guy basically, and I haven't read enough to know the details of what happens because I've only read the first like 14 books or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically that's their origin. And they used to have this thing that they were like, oh, we're like the last bastion of, the fight against chaos. So in the old books, they had this Terminus Decree, which was like, oh, if everything fails, they have this secret mission that nobody knows and nobody can find out until like Terra is overrun and the Emperor is dead. And it was like kind of presumed that the Terminus Decree is basically just like nuke humanity and just get rid of chaos, essentially.
Okay, yeah, and that's it because that's now been updated, right?
Yeah.
And so now it's like, okay, the Terminus Decree is if the Emperor ever leaves the throne, then they have to go and find him and bring him back.
Yeah. You just have to look for your lost cat,
Yeah, I think that's like a good analogy. Like, if you've lost your cat, you have to go and find it and bring it back.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I think it ties into this. I think this is something they've built towards a bit in the Horus Heresy books is that the Emperor, like the fact that he's in the Golden Throne is like not just because he was almost killed and this is the way to keep him alive. It's like that he's doing important stuff there that keeps the warp at bay or something.
Yeah, and I think
kind of in this direction.
I think as well it presents some interesting story arcs because obviously they're advancing the fluff slightly, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like I also heard about something which is the scouring, which I don't have a full picture of it, but what I understand is like after the Horus lost, that's kind of like where the universe is, and there's like all these things going on, and then the scouring is going to be like humanity, like the Imperium striking back and starting to purge chaos from Terra and outwards and trying to reclaim the lost systems, I guess. And
so this is something that kind of happens directly after the Horus Heresy. It's like when Horus loses at Terra, and then the traitors flee, and then the scouring happens when they kind of reconquer the galaxy, so to say.
Okay, so it's not
but then,
actually progressing the fluff then.
Yeah, that's like that's maybe what will happen in the Horus. Like when they finish with the Horus Heresy part of the Heresy novels, they will probably just like continue the novels into that area. Let's say.
Okay. So so this is actually
what-
not
yeah.
linked to that, but it was quite interesting to me that the Emperor could be reincarnated in somehow, and they had to come and find him and bring him back. So I mean that's quite interesting because if that happens, then it's like an opportunity to again like further the background and progress the narrative from where we actually currently are. And that,
Yeah,
and I guess
I
it's been
like
that
this
for
as
some
well,
time.
to be honest.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting.
Because I think maybe like the implication I feel here is like, oh well, maybe he like ascends to god status or whatever and becomes like a warp entity, and
Yeah.
then they're like have to make sure he doesn't become a fifth chaos god or whatever,
Yeah, I mean, to me, he's quite clearly, if he's not a chaos god, he's some sort of like warp entity god anyway.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, that I think that's quite interesting. I mean, maybe the Grey Knights have to go into the warp and like kill the god, or like chain him, or bring him back to the throne, or something like that. I mean, that could be quite a cool like story arc or something like that as they progress the background.
By now. Yeah, I mean, I do like this a lot actually. That they've in the last few like campaigns or books they've released, they've really they had like Cadia Fall or whatever, and the galaxy got split, and then they've had these different campaigns where like the story and the characters have really been developing, and that's also how they motivate, for example, the Primarchs coming back, because the story develops and then they find like the Primarch somewhere, or they do something for him to come back, and I think that helps the health of the game a lot, because it's getting kind of stale with just being at exactly the same point in history all the time and just getting slightly better, like different model kits. And you're just like, well, eventually this like money pit is gonna dry up if you don't renew the setting somehow.
Yeah, I agree, and it's nice that we've sort of joined at the right time. Let's say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can imagine that if you were like spent all this time just in the current setting, maybe you feel you don't like the new stuff, but at the same time, like you need to renew it. Like eventually you will, like people will kind of hit kids or whatever and like play less and so on, and you need something to like bring people in as well.
Yeah, exactly, and like an exciting new chapter could be quite interesting. When I say chapter, like I mean chapter of like a story.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next things that I wanted to go over, there's also some new models for some other Space Marine stuff. So you've got
more Space Marines.
Yeah,
right?
more Space Marines. So there's this Salamander's character. He's called Vulcan He Stan. Which
Yeah.
I mean, we make fun of Games Workshop naming. This is not the best naming, I guess.
I don't know why he's but I think this guy is like, he's a character who's been in the Salamanders for a long time, if I remember. Yeah, it's like a classic hero reforged. So this is one of those that I think people will really like, because he's always been a character in the chapter, and now he's actually getting a good model.
You tell me what you know about each of these characters, and I will talk about the model.
Well, that's about as much I know. I know it's their like the Salamander special character. Yeah, you took him to play Salamanders. That's essentially all I know.
Okay, cool. Well, it's quite a nice model. It's got like this like a dragon-y cloak type thing. I guess they're like the Fire Space Marines. That's all I know about them. And yeah, it's quite a cool model. And he's got this like option for the head where he's got like black skin, and from what I know from James, this is like part of their background as well. That they're I don't want to say anything too racist, but
it's such a weird like thing. I feel like it's very much like because they designed some of this game like way back in time, and they're like, oh, we need a faction of black people. You're like, okay, make them all black. Cool.
But James was saying that they don't have black skin. It's that they actually like, because they live on this volcano world. It's just like they have so much ash in the atmosphere that they get like the black is like more like a charcoal stain on their normal colour skin.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I mean they've never been painted as like, let's say, ethnically black, like with a realistic skin tone. It's always been more like coal black.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like all the old artwork has like guys who have the faces of like African American people in the artwork, and you're like, okay, yeah, sure, I
I mean,
guess.
to me, it would be also fine if they had like their home world is like a very sunny place, so they all have to have black skin.
Yeah,
Fine. Wouldn't
yeah, exactly. It's like fair enough, right?
yeah, wouldn't have a problem with that. Okay, the next guy is called Darnath Lysander. I mean, this is quite okay as Games Workshop names go.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
give
Lysander is
me-
also one of the classics. He's
Yeah.
like it's also like I think the first captain or something like that. Yeah, or captain of the first company of so like one of the most important positions in the Imperial Fists.
Yeah, this is the faction that Alex is playing, so he's probably happy about this guy coming out. I really
Yeah,
like the way
big
that
yellow
they've-
guys.
I really like the way that they've painted like the hammer. It's quite cool with like the little like lightning bolt type thingy on it.
Yeah, the shield is quite nice. Like it's never been. I haven't seen them make a storm shield like this. So the storm shield is like you can get a loadout for the Terminators in Space Marines, where they have like a big shield that just improves their invulnerable save to 3+, I think, or something like that. So then they're even like more impossible to kill.
Great. Yeah, but like a cool model. I mean, all of these models are probably the first one's not, but this one is like on a very large tactical rock, which is standard these days.
Yeah.
And then the
I
next.
mean, I like tactical rocks though. Like to me, it's like I've never gotten the problem with them because I'm like, well, I mean, surely there's going to be like debris on the battlefield. Like, why wouldn't he be standing on top of some of it?
Yeah, I mean it's dumb, but I also don't mind it that much. I also sometimes I put tactical rocks on my models on purpose.
In my faction now, like if I in fact have a tactical rock for every single mole that I have. Because I was like, I want them to be like a bit imposing and get some height, so they're just everybody's on a rock.
Well, this next one is definitely gonna be a bit more imposing because this is not a tactical rock, but a tactical tree.
Ah, fuck yeah!
But this one's really
This
cool.
one is the most interesting.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree. I think this makes me want to play this faction of Space Marines because I think this model is really cool. So it's called Aethon Shan, which again like is
Yeah.
quite a reasonable name. I don't know where it comes from, but it's fine. But the model is really cool. It's like this. It's Raven Guard. I don't know what Raven Guard are, but it looks like they're kind of flying guys, and it has like this huge, like a jetpack on its back. 3 different head options. I don't really like the emo one so much. I'll probably just go with the helmet one. And it has this like it's like standing on a tree, very very dynamic, really really cool. This is probably the best model
Yeah.
from all of them, to be honest.
Yeah, and also like the fact that he has this like very natural looking cloth that's hanging down, so you can tell that he's not moving. Actually, he's like kind of hanging, rather than like flying through the air or something
Yeah.
like this. And I think that's quite a unique pose that they usually don't do.
Yeah.
But I think this one's interesting because it's actually a new character.
Okay.
So this faction already has like their like signature special character, like the other 2 above, which is called Shrike something. Like if he's just known as Shrike, he probably has a first name as well. But then now they get another one, and then here it advances the plot a little bit, where where apparently this other guy like stepped down from this first captain position, and now this is like the new guy. So I think that's also going to be interesting for people who play this faction, because you
Yeah.
get some like more stuff going on.
Cool. Do you know? I guess.
And they're like the
I guess
they're like the jump pack themed one, Space Marine. It's like, do you like emos? Do you like ravens? This is the faction for you. And it's like they're kind of like a guerrilla hit and run tactics, this kind of stuff. So you want to have a lot of like flying guys and kind of fast attack options.
That sounds like my kind of faction if I was going to play Space Marines. Not because
Yeah, it's
not because
actually-
they're emo, but because they have shenanigans.
It's like just because they sound like elves.
Yeah. It's like, how can I play elves with Space Marines? Yeah, you know me too well, Casimir. What can I say?
Yeah.
And then the next one is Iron Hands, Kanokvar. Okay. Tell me what are the Iron Hands, Casimir? I have no idea.
So the Iron Hands are like the engineer Space Marines. So they're the
Do
ones who
they
like
have iron hands?
exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. They literally all replace their hands with like one of their hands with bionic hand, or at least it's like a mark of like, oh, you've risen far or something. So now you
Okay,
get
so
like
they actually
cut
do.
off your
They actually
normal
do.
hand.
Okay, fair enough. I was making
Because
a dumb
they
joke,
like
but-
love machines and shit. So they're like the ones who are closest to like the Mechanicum. And so if you play Iron Hands, it's going to be like all about the vehicles and like buffing your different machines with like characters and shit like this.
Cool. I mean, this model, like, from my perspective, it just looks like a Space Marine with a little bit of extra doofries on the top.
Yeah, that's my shit.
Yeah, I think I'd be a bit underwhelmed with it if I was playing this faction, but maybe if you're playing it, you have a bit more nuanced opinion.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like his new like special weapon thing looks like one of those. Yeah, it looks like a huge cricket bat or some shit. Like it's just kind of. It's like it's a big maul or like triangular maul thing, and I guess the problem is that it looks a little bit like you could have converted this yourself.
Yeah.
And that's like a. To me, I'm like, well, probably this guy's going to cost you like €35 or something, and if you could have just bought like a box of Terminators, gotten 4 Terminators, and converted one guy, and it's kind of the same, then it's just, yeah, maybe not worth it.
Yeah, this one's not great. Yeah, okay. Next one is called Subadon. Okay, come on. This is a Games Workshop name that's like not original. Suboden Khan. I mean.
Super that okay.
Yeah, I know like enough about the White Scars that they're basically like the Mongols, and
So Henry, do you like Mongols? Here is the Space Marine faction for you.
Quite possibly, but when they have such stupid names, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean the model is good though.
Yeah, really, really cool. Really, really cool. I like it a lot. Like I've seen a few like this where people have done something where they're like I don't know if they all have spears, but they're maybe like scraping along the ground and stuff like that, and they've done like flames like coming from the spear, that kind of thing. And it looks really cool, and this is also quite interesting. I also saw online that this was like a new type of jet bike.
Yeah,
but maybe
exactly.
Maybe
so like
you know a bit more about that.
Yeah, so in normal 40Ks, let's say there's only been like actual bikes, and then if you play Horse Heresy, you could get like a unit of jet bike guys. So this guy is like completely new because he has like a jet bike but in 40K, and it looks also different because it has the same like anti-grav units at the bottom as the new Space Marine tanks. So I mean I could imagine also in the future maybe they would make like a unit with this kind of jet bike. Because it's also a little bit weird though that you have like a character who's on a jet bike and then everybody else is a normal bike and he's just gonna like fly away and go like, yeah, fuck off.
yeah. But it's super cool model. Like I like the pose. Obviously he looks like somewhat Asian-ish with a haircut, but also not. I don't know. I mean.
Yeah, I think it's matter. Like if you paint him, you could probably make him any ethnicity you want. Like it's not so clear in the features, I would say.
Yeah, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. I can see that he's got like a vampire head or something on the side, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, it looks really cool. Very impressed with this one. Hopefully, it's not too expensive because it's like basically a character, but it's on a bike, and I would guess it's probably more expensive than the guy above because it's more plastic. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what they price the mounted characters at, but I would assume it'd be definitely more. The question is how much more.
Yeah. So looking at the next things is more Space Marine stuff. So there's I think 5 combat patrols also out. So Salamander's got one, and like again, I don't know much about these models or anything, but they're like riding. There's like a vehicle in this that looks like a pedalo that you rent at the beach.
That's so stupid. Fuck me. It's like a go-kart or some shit.
I don't know if this is a new model, but it looks fucking dumb.
No, I mean, it's been out for a few years, I think. But it's really stupid.
Yeah, I do like the Salamander's colour scheme, though. Very cool.
Yeah, it's striking.
Yeah, Imperial Fists, loads of guys in yellow. Seems fine. I mean, to me, it looks like that you get. Yeah, it actually is 4 units because I guess the Space Marine squad at the back is like 2 5s, then Terminators, and then whatever these guys are with the little icons on the back. But seems cool.
Yeah, I think they're like elite guys or something.
Yeah. Then you have Raven Guard one where the new character is not a part of it, and this also is a bit weird. Like a bit like the Eldar stuff when it came out. It's like, yeah, we're releasing like a new box of Eldar, but there's not that much new stuff in it. So it's like, why would someone who collect this faction buy this box?
Yeah, I mean this to me seems more like if you're starting it, you get some jump pack guys, a jump pack character, and then you get the like kind of not scouts, but the like fast version of the Space Marines, let's say.
Yeah, but maybe that's it,
Some
right?
like random dreadnought guy.
It's like a way of starting your army off, so maybe that makes more sense. I don't know. And then the next one is, I'm assuming, the Iron Hands?
I think so. This one is pretty shit.
Yeah, it looks a bit dumb, like 2 little cannon-y things and then 1 unit of Space
I think
Marines.
now I think the thing is that these are like the Space Marines in like bigger armor. I think Alex has a bunch of these, so they're not just like the normal guys. They're like,
okay.
so you're getting like two elite units, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that they're all the same price, and this one doesn't seem that good value.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it works out to in reality, but if I was a kid, I wouldn't buy this one, let's say.
Yeah. And then this one looks cool. The next one is the White Scars one. Maybe White Scars is the one for me. Like the tank,
Yeah,
you get the
they're
new
like
character,
bike-themed.
which we mentioned. Like this actually has the new character in. You
Yeah.
get a unit of bike guys, and then you get a little unit of Marines as well. This one's quite a cool one.
Yeah, I think this one is attractive because like you get the new guy probably at a discounted price, right? And then all of this seems like things you could use. Like 5 like guys with swords, perfect. Bikes, White Scars are themed around bikes. You probably want more, and then the transports also seems useful.
Yeah, I guess the only thing is about this one is that because it's like a new character, you wouldn't buy multiples of this because then you have like a 2 times the character, and then you don't really want that.
Yeah, that's true. Like if you look at the other ones, especially the like Imperial Fist and maybe the Raven Guard one, I think they're ones that you could probably like double up. I could imagine if you're making your army.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that was all the news, I think, unless there's any more news. Do you have any more news? Do you know of any more news?
I think not for 40k because most of the other reveals were like, I mean, there was like a bunch of what are they called? Horus Heresy stuff. There's a bunch of like Age of Sigmar and Old World and this kind of things. But if we're not, no, okay, there's Space Dwarves. We haven't talked about Space Dwarves yet.
Okay, Space Dwarves. Tell me about Space Dwarves.
Yeah, so I mean, other than being a bit silly, they get like their codex soon, I guess. And you know, they were one of the new factions, so they didn't really have so much stuff before. So they're definitely getting their range kind of expanded. So there's like a bunch of new things coming out.
Okay, Casimir, I have a question for you. Would you be willing to get the book when it comes out so we can do a book review?
Of the Space Dwarves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually I wouldn't actually mind getting it because it's like for once it would be something where all the fluff is new because I've never read it before. You know, so it's like actually it's not that you're just like rereading something you already kind of know with a little bit, but the Space Dwarves themselves, I was before they initially when they came out, I was like a little bit excited because I like dwarves and I was like maybe they would do something cool, and they previewed like one of the normal dwarf guys in his like, what would you call it, like astronaut like armor, and I was like, this could be pretty cool, and then they showed the rest of the stuff and it's like the fucking weird buggies and stuff that looked like a moon landing vehicles and so on, and I'm like, oh terrible, fucking horrid.
Okay, but so it's not a faction that you're going to collect?
No, definitely not. I mean, I think you could probably find like third party stuff that could be pretty fun. Like there's a lot of people who make like things that just look like stupid fancy dwarfs, but actually they have guns, you know, and that kind of appeals to me a little bit. Like they're used to Space Dwarfs was a faction like way back in the day, like even before I started playing, and they got discontinued. And back then the it was really like, imagine like a fancy dwarf, but he's a trucker, and now he's in space, and that was like the faction. So they're like little guys on bikes that just looked like real life bikes and looked like with little trucker hats and, and sunglasses and shit and cigars. And that I'm like, that's stupid enough. Like I like that.
Yeah, that's kind of like quirky in some way, right? But these are maybe
to me
not so much.
this to me is like the heart. For me, like the heart of what I like about dwarves is that they have like some elements that are cool about them, but they're also really stupid. And I love this like the when you look at the models that they're a bit like silly, you know. And these are just like they just don't scratch the itch, you know.
Fair enough. So maybe we can go through these actual releases because I think there's quite a few and some interesting stuff that's come out.
Yeah.
So the first thing is Buri Agnesson, which to me sounds quite like a dwarf name. I mean, it's
I mean this name is fine. I think.
Yeah, as we're commenting on Games Workshop names because they're largely ridiculous. This one's quite fine. Really cool model. I mean, I guess neither of us know anything about this, so to me it looks like he's a guy.
He's like a anti-Tyrannid guy. I guess he has like the carapace of a Tyrannid warrior, like strapped on his his back, which I think is like, this is actually quite striking. Like this model, I could this is something I want like. If you introduce somebody to Space Dwarfs and you show them this model, they'd be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. And then you show them the rest, you're like, oh no.
Yeah, I think this is a good example of like when I think they're choosing colors, they haven't chose the right color for the weapon. I don't know if you agree.
Like why is the weapon the same color as the other thing on his back?
Yeah, exactly. Like to me, it needed to be like an orange weapon or a red weapon or something like that to be a bit more eye-catching because now it sort of hides itself a bit with the purples of the monster. And you guys make fun of me all the time for trying to like give you guys advice on the colours that you use and stuff like that. And this is like the perfect example of that. And you agree with me, so that's good. I feel vindicated.
I think what you can do with this, I have my color wheel here in front of me, and it's like so easy to elevate this because you look at the color wheel and you go like, oh, his armor is teal or / blue, and the carapace is purple. Okay, these two are next to each other on the color wheel. Okay, what's on the other side? Yeah, orange.
Yeah,
you're like, okay,
I was right, and I didn't even have a color wheel.
It's like I would say this illustrates how like you can use the color wheel to help yourself. Like when you're painting something, you go like, oh, all my stuff is like blue. Okay, well, if I want something that really stands out against blue, okay, what's on the other side? Fucking red. Okay, there you go.
Okay, moving on to the next one. We've got Arcanist Evaluator. What a fucking stupid name.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I mean, this is a bit more like derpy dwarf model that you might like, and it looks like he's got some Korean writing on his gun. But
I mean, I think his gun looks a little bit stupid, but I do like the helmet that he has because it looks like a big it looks like if you took a ski helmet and just like extended it over your whole head and made the goggles like way small, and it's just, that looks really fun.
I don't know if you were like culturally shown this as a child, but to me it looks like something from Wallace and Gromit. I know. For people who are British watching this or listening to this podcast, you'll probably know what I mean, but it looks like some sort of robot from Wallace and Gromit, the helmet. But if you're not, then you maybe don't get the reference, but you can look it up and have and see for yourself. But I think it looks quite cool as well.
Yeah, it's the unhelmeted face looks like the antagonist in Sonic the Hedgehog, whatever he's called, like Dr. Egg Evil or something.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, this one's okay as well, like quite cool.
Yeah.
And then we have Memnir Strategist. What's with these like very like weird names? Like this first guy's an evaluator, the next guy's a strategist. Isn't it a bit on the nose? Like,
strategist.
special characters, or is it just like a generic thing?
No, I think these are new characters, just normal characters. Like this guy's, so they have like these, like let's say AI robots, and this guy's, I guess, a character that just like improves those. So he's like he is also like an AI robot, and maybe he just like buffs them when he's close, I guess.
Okay, I mean it's quite a cool model. It looks like a wizard of some description, but yeah, it looks quite cool.
Yeah. He looks a little bit like if a Mentat had like a helmet when he's like his hands are together or whatever. He's like, oh, I'm thinking. Whoa, such a strategist.
Yeah, I quite like this model, to be honest. Looks good. And then we have the ones that we don't like.
Yeah, here we go. Fucking Iron Kin Steel Jacks.
These look fucking dumb. These look like something from like Mantic or like, what's it called?
Yeah.
War Machine.
Yeah, exactly. And they're supposed to be these like robots, right? That they have. So I guess they made the proportions to look like it's not just a guy in a suit, but in the act of doing that, they made it look really stupid. Like the hips are like way too far apart, and it just looks weird.
Yeah, I would have preferred them to do like a rolling one or something like that. Like
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, and those exist in like another faction. Like I think you could make a really cool robot where you put it like on tracks or something like this.
Yeah.
Like why does it have to have legs? Like if we know one thing from Boston Dynamics, in the real world, is that like making a robot with legs is stupid and it doesn't really do anything. It's just like you just have to spend a lot of time programming it to not fall over. You're like just put it on wheels.
Yeah, these look dumb. I don't really like them at all. Yeah, then we have Chthonian Earthshakers, and this just looks like something out of like a weird porno. Like something that just like
it's like,
drills dum 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 dum.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like if you take one of those like fuck machines and then you turn it upside down so it's like fucking the earth. That's what they're doing. You're just like. Tuk, 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 tuk.
But instead of like jizzing, they're like shooting like shells which explode.
Yeah, like this I don't get. Is it like shooting the shells into the earth or like up in the sky? Like is it putting the loads in, so to say, or like pulling out and putting them on top?
I'm not sure, but are they space ogres who are operating it?
No, I think those are just dwarves.
But there's
just
like
really, really wide, thick dwarves.
But there's like a small dwarf thing next to it.
That's one of those AI robots. Like you can tell which ones are supposed to be robots by if they have like a steel sphere as a head, then they're supposed to be one of those robots.
Okay, so the bigger ones are dwarves and the smaller ones is a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess they're like the elite dwarves. That's why they're so big. But still, they do seem pretty chunky.
Okay. And then there's two little markers, I guess, that you get with it. I quite like these little marker things, to be honest. I think they bring a little bit extra to the game. But yeah, not the biggest fan of this. The pumping machine.
No. It's I mean it's fine. Like it's not good, but if I was playing this faction, I was like, this unit is really good, I wouldn't be like, oh no, I have to buy this kit. Like I'd be like, yeah, whatever. It's fine.
There's cool war machines, but sure. And then we have another dodgy one, which is a Capricus. I don't know why it's called a Capricus, but
it's like to represent the people who are really into astrology, like fucking get your little Capricorn vehicle or some shit.
I don't know. It looks like something out of like Ninja Turtles, like a hovercraft or something. I'm not a fan. It looks like looks like it's got like Korean advertisements for like chewing gum or something on the side.
Yeah. I mean, they really failed with the vehicle design for this faction. It all just looks really silly.
Yeah, I'm also not convinced, but Okay, what's next? That's it. We've got the Codex. We've got the Combat Patrol. I mean,
Combat Patrol is all old models, I think.
Yeah, nothing new, and that's it. So that's all the new stuff. So I think let's take a quick break here, and we'll come back. And after the break, we are going to talk about something else that I've written down, but I can't remember. But we'll do that.
Sounds good.
So welcome back. My child had a quick traumatic moment when she realised that she hadn't eaten in half an hour. But now she's...
Yeah, I mean, relatable.
Yeah, completely understand. Don't blame her whatsoever. I'm exactly the same, so she definitely gets it from me. Yeah, we were discussing what I'd been doing in the hobby. So I've done some painting, as I said, and I've been buying a lot of stuff. I have to buy a few more things just to finish off the list that I want. But one step at a time. Yeah, I bought, as I said, I bought the Combat Patrol. I bought the Howling Banshees just to double up, and I bought the Fire Dragons just to double up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I bought something else, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Was it like some sort of hobby things? Oh, I bought some dry brushes.
Did you buy some like Temu?
Yeah, I bought some dry
Temu
brushes
shit.
from Temu. I bought like yeah, that's about it. I think nothing. I don't think this. I felt like this was more interesting because I've been buying more things.
I mean, you're basically fast tracking for 2K now, right? That's
Yeah.
the plan.
That's the plan. Like I have like a couple of friends who are not in the usual gaming group, who are playing like 2K very casually, and so I was like even if I haven't painted 2K, I should probably try and build 2K, and then at least I can like go and play with those guys as well.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to just like sit around and wait to stay.
Yeah.
Everything's finished.
Yeah, exactly. So that was sort of that's basically like the hobby I've done. But I did play a game, and I went down to like the local gaming store. It's called ZZ Games or ZZGames.dk is the website. They have like a website. It's a really good gaming store actually. I was really impressed actually when I went down there the first time. I think I've talked about it on the show already, and they're like local to where I live in my new place. They're just in Tustrup. If there's any Danish guys listening, yeah, they're just down there, and they have like a huge hobby room, a big shop with like loads of stuff. They have like loads of different game systems, loads of different hobby stuff, loads of different paint stuff. Like they have everything, magic cards, these kind of stuff. It's massive down there. It's like a huge basement. They have probably, I guess you could do probably like a 40-person tournament down there in the basement as well, and the store.
Wow,
So
that's crazy.
It's massive, and they're really nice. I think it's like I don't know if it's like a couple who run it, but the girl who works there on the gaming nights, her husband / boyfriend is also playing 40K, so it's like a local kind of place, and the guys down there are really nice. And I played a game against a guy called Rolf, who seems to be like a pretty good player. He says he's played like international tournaments, and he like sort of helped me through like my first like proper game of 40K, and it was really fun. We played like all the objectives. Like I learned lots of stuff, and yeah, it was really good. I didn't win, but it was fun. But it was also quite close, even though he was like way better than me and sort of showing me what to do a little bit. Like it was a really fun game. Yeah, and it was like a good little experience. So they do like gaming nights every Monday. So I mean, with the baby, it's a little bit difficult, but maybe next week I can go, and then I maybe do once a month. Just go down there and get a pickup game.
Yeah, sounds good. So how did you find playing all the objectives? Because before we only played like a main objective essentially. So and now you add like all cards and stuff, I guess.
Yeah. So the way it works is that when it's your turn, you draw 2 cards, and you can discard one of them for a combat point, or what is it? Is it combat point? I don't know. Like one of these
command point. Yeah.
Command points, CPs. You can discard it and get a new one if you don't feel like you can get it. And then every turn you have to try and get this objective, and they're all like different stuff, like hold this point, kill this thing, be in this table quarter, like whatever it is. And then and then you have obviously your second, like your primary objective as well. So there's sort of like 3 objectives that you have to think about during each turn. And like coming from 9th age, I was like, it's probably going to be really difficult actually to get these objectives every turn, because if you're focused on like the main objective, then maybe it's harder to get the other objectives. But it actually wasn't. Like it, all the objectives felt doable. Like there was a few that weren't. Like there was one which was like assassinate, and it wasn't possible to kill his characters because one of them was sort of stood at the back, and the other two were in like big units in cover. So then that one was maybe
Yeah,
something
sure.
that I didn't need. I should have cycled out of.
Yeah.
But largely, like the capture ones felt quite easy. Like having a certain number of units in certain places was fine. But Eldar for me are also like quite fast, so I had the
Yeah, true.
options to play. And we played 1,500 points for the record as well.
Yeah, I guess at that point you have a bunch more. Like 1,000 points, I can imagine that there's like just because you just have a lack of stuff, there might be things you can't do.
Yeah,
You know?
I think at 1,000 points it's maybe a little bit more difficult, just because there's less units on the table, and there's probably more space and stuff like that. So it might be a bit more difficult. But at 1,500 points it was fine, like to capture all these objectives. And I think at 2,000 points it's probably even more. I mean, I'd say like maybe at like 2,000, if you can hear something burping, it's my baby. But at 2,000 points, I feel like you're probably going to have like places on the battlefield where your units can't hide because there's just not enough terrain to hide them behind, which is also maybe a part of the game, or maybe you just need like more stuff in reserves.
I think you also just need like deep strike shit, right? Like, that's why you put things in reserves.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like maybe the deep strike stuff, like when I played against this guy, he had Space Marines and he had 2 units of like, I guess, melter guys in reserve. Like
Yeah.
2 units of 3, so 6 guys. But yeah, it was a really good game, and Rolf, who I was playing against, was really nice, and it was sort of like a mixture of like an intro game slash just see what happens kind of game. It was good fun.
Yeah, sounds nice. Like I think it's so important to have these people in your community to get started, because like if you don't have a guy like this, then you're probably not
Yeah.
like actually continuing, you know?
Yeah, he was sort of expecting like a half intro game, and I was like, well, like, yes, it's an intro game, but I have played war games before, so I do know what I'm doing. Just show me the rules, and let's just talk about the decisions a bit, and like what's possible and what you would do, and like it doesn't have to be super competitive. Let's just kind of but we're still playing a game,
exactly.
and we both want to win, but let's just try and talk it through a little bit so we can understand what you can do and what options you have and these kind of things.
Yeah, I just like I think a good contrast to this is like I remember the time when I way back in time when I tried to get into Age of Sigmar for a bit. It was like right when they released the Ghosts, and I was like, oh, these actually look good, so I'm gonna give it a try. And I remember there was this guy who I knew through work that played, and I was like, oh, perfect. He was like an ETC level guy, you know, like going to lots of tournaments and shit. I was like, oh, you can like, you know, help me learn the game. And then like what happened was that when I turned up, he was like, oh, there's this other like new guy who doesn't know the game at all, has never played anything, and you guys can play. And then it was just like, it was more like suddenly I was teaching another new guy how to play, because as you say, like we've played a bunch of war games already, so you know kind of what's going on. And I just remember that it kind of killed it for me, because I was like, yeah, okay, but now I'm just like pushing toys in the middle, and I'm not really learning anything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help me understand the game, and it just kind of doesn't feel that nice. So it's just way nicer when I get to play somebody who like knows what's going on and is like willing to take the time to play with you, rather than this like, oh yeah, but I'd rather play a real game against real opponents, so I'm not going to bother playing against you.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really nice that this guy had helped me out and gave me like a casual game. So that was good, super cool. And there was like maybe not eight. There's maybe like 8, 9 people, 10 people playing 40K at the same time.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
At the same time, so there's loads of people down there, and on like a random Monday, and I know that they do like painting nights and they do kill team as well. Not that I'm really into kill team, but I think it's nice that there's lots of people like playing Warhammer stuff.
it's such a good like atmosphere thing when there's like games going on around you, and you can like walk around, like have a chat, look at what's going on, whatever, and like make friends. That's something that I've always missed here in Munich with Ninth Age, is that like when you play, you're usually just like the two of you playing in the club, because you like arrange. It's not like on Mondays you play. It's more like, oh, when do you have time? And then nobody else is playing on that day, so it's just the two of you. And it's nice, but it's not the same as like a club night.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been kind of after that for some time, so I think once Aurelia is a bit more independent, then I can maybe start going down there on Mondays.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and also if you're down, then we can also go down to the club and play, or we can go down on a Monday if you're staying over the weekend or something like that, which is also convenient in some ways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nice to like go somewhere where they have like the whole setup and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on. I think I've got an idea for a new section. It's
Yes.
also a bit kind of like hobby-ish section. So the section is like how to paint something. And I don't know what, I have a lot of ideas when throughout my week, and this is just one of the brainwaves I had. So we're going to try it out and see what happens. And so please give us some feedback if you're listening, if you like this section or not. So the idea of this section is like how to paint something. So what would me or Casimir do if we were trying to paint this thing? So we maybe don't know much about 40k, but we do know quite a bit about painting. Casimir definitely more than me for sure. I'm more like I get it out quickly. Casimir's more like gets it out quality. But I think both of us have a lot of experience with painting, so this is something that we can maybe give some advice on. And I think each episode we're going to do like a how to paint something. For example, it could be like, how would we paint like a space marine? How would we paint a power sword? How would we paint wings? How would we paint like a demon face? Whatever it could be. So the first thing that I had the idea of is how to paint gems. So I'm doing Eldar right now. And
yeah, it's like 90% gems, right?
yeah, so every model has these like gems on. And also like it's also works for things like lenses, or like, yeah, I guess lenses, gems, some fancy stones.
Yeah.
Basically anything
exactly.
that's glass, it works for.
Yeah, anything that's really, really reflective. It
Yeah.
helps when, I would say it helps when it's not like a sphere, because spheres are way harder to do, because then you can't, like, it's much nicer when it's like kind of flat, right? Because then it's easier to figure out like where the reflections would be.
Yeah, exactly. And like the things that I've also been using it for is like on some guns there's like a lens that's from like a sight or something. So I've also been using basically the same technique for that as well, and it works quite well. So yeah. So basically like you have these gems, and generally they're circular, or like let's say like oval shaped generally.
Yeah,
But at least
the classic one would be oval, right?
yeah. But they come in different shapes and sizes. So this is actually a technique that Casimir taught me. So I have to give Casimir the props for this. But the way that Casimir taught me / the way that I do it is I basically paint it black as an undercoat, and then I do 2/3 of the color that I want to do it. So if it's, for me, I'm doing red ones and blue ones. So it's like I do like a burgundy if it's red, or a navy blue if it's blue. So like a darker down color version of whatever like color I'm doing. And so 2/3 of the gem is in that color, and then I do 1/3 of the gem in like let's say like the main color.
So maybe what you used to say is like, where do you put that 2/3? Like in what direction?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not super accurate with it because some of these gems are super small, and it's also quite difficult to get it accurate.
Yeah, especially with Eldar.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
So it's like, so if you imagine like the gem is like vertically positioned, so like the pointy bit is at the top and the pointy bit is at the bottom. So if you imagine like 2/3 is sort of filled up, but then there's like a bit of a slight angle, whichever way you want, and it should be angled towards where you think the light is coming from. So like the darker, it's sort of like so like it's perpendicular to where the light is coming from, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly right. This is like the key is like when you're painting it, you want you want like kind of the brighter spots, so to say, to be away from the light source rather than towards, which is like makes it look reflective.
Yeah, exactly. So the line should be sort of perpendicular to the light source. So it's like if you imagine you imagine like imaginary line like 2/3 up, and then you angle it perpendicular when you actually paint it to the light source, so 2/3 up, and then the main color, which is like in the case of a red gem, it's like scarlet red, like I guess it's like Blood Angels red or whatever the color was back then, or if it's blue, it's like emerald blue, like the really bright like regal Space Marine kind of color blue.
Yeah.
And then that's like 1/3 up, and then angled in the same way as the other one. And then I basically add a bit of, in my blue one, I add a bit of white into the same blue, and do like a line, basically like a curved line around the rim of the gem. So
Yeah, towards the bottom.
towards the bottom of the gem. Maybe if you wanted to do like an angle, you'd say like opposite where the light source is, and maybe like I don't know what, like 60 no, not maybe not 60 is a bit much, maybe like 45-degree like line of like a, say like a sky blue, and in the case of the red gem I do like a light orange color.
Yeah,
And this
exactly. Something a bit like it helps a lot if you have like a paint that has some like fluorescent in it, for example, because that makes it like look a bit glowy.
Yeah, and you can also really like, you can highlight each layer as well, and you can do like a bit more of a gradient. You can do as much as you need, but with these small gems where they're only like a 2-3 millimeters large, like this works quite well for me. Like you don't need to do too much gradient, and then
I think that's the key, right? It's like you can, of course, if you have like a character, you can spend like a lot of time on the gem. Also, it goes pretty quick because all the layers are so small. But in the end, I think your like 3 layers is kind of all you need to get the effect.
yeah, I agree. And then what I do is I paint under like a quite a bright light. So I sort of put the model. I look at the model, and the black paint is always like slightly reflective. So I kind of look at where the point on the black third of the gem is, where the light is hitting it, and I put a white dot in this point, basically.
Oh, I never thought about doing this with the light. I always just kind of put it at the opposite point from where I did the like let's say the bottom highlight.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a hard, fast technique, but this is what I do. I kind of look at the model in the light, like where is the light actually hitting the gem from above? Because, I mean, when you hold the model, usually it's vertical, and usually it's like where the light is coming from, and you can just twiddle it around until you get it where you think the light should be. But I just generally look at it in the light and see naturally where does the light fall on the gem, and I put my dot in the black section, usually fairly central in the black section, but just where actually the light is hitting the gem. And then to finish it off, I varnish it. I put like a gloss varnish on top, and the gloss varnish makes it really, really pop. And I think that's the key ingredient to the whole process. But this is like a super easy, quick technique to do gems, and I think it works really nice.
Yeah.
And I'll also add that if you're doing something like more circular, instead of like a dot, you can do a little bit more of like an arc around the rim of the gem.
Yeah, exactly, like a line.
Yeah, and you can make it like we talked about, okay, with the oblong, like the oval sort of gem, you do like let's say like an angled line perpendicular. But if you're doing something a bit more circular, then you can make the 3 layers a little bit more circular, like to kind of fit the shape a bit more. And I guess if there's like I don't know, if you're doing like a square one or a diamond one, you can do the same. So sort of fit the 3 levels of highlight to the shape of the object.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think it's all about thinking about like how does light reflect against objects. So if you have like a cut gem that is like angular sides, you would have to do it differently because like the light would reflect in a flat surface in a like, whereas like if the whole flat surface is kind of specular reflection, it would turn up like this or like along an edge. But since it's rounded, it's more like a point, for example, or a line.
Yeah.
And like for me when I do this, I would like how I usually, like when I add steps to this, I would do things like, obviously you just like iterate more layers or whatever, but then you can kind of like if you think about like an oval, probably like you have like 2 specular reflections happening on it. Like one would be a point from like the tip of the oval, let's say, and the other one would be this arc that we talked about from the circle. So you could, for example, do like an arc and the tip as well. So it'd be like a point and then an arc below it. But I wouldn't do that in white, then maybe I'd do that in a very light blue, so that you still have like one point that's that like super white that stands out.
Yeah, you can let's say like do like a smaller arc in blue and then do like a highlight point in white.
Yeah, exactly, something like this. And it's kind of like interesting, I think, because like you can kind of understand it as like the gem is like transparent, right? Or the light like enters the gem. So what we see or what we're trying to paint is like your one part where it enters it hits the gem and it's reflecting specularly, and then the light is kind of going through the gem and reflecting again in the other side, like in the bottom. And you also have like the environmental light reflecting from the bottom of the gem, which is getting you this like blue color or red color at the bottom. But then the, let's say, specular reflection is this strong white one, where you like when light hits certain objects at like a, let's say, or smooth objects at a certain angle, you get like this total reflection, and that's where you get the like really strong bright source, which makes something look like really reflective.
Yeah, so Casimir is a physicist, and he gave you the physicist answer, and I was like, yeah, you just paint like this.
Yeah, but I think this is like this is like something that like recurs when you think about like how to paint different materials. Is like, how do you make it look like cloth, or how do you make it look like metal, for example? Like obviously with metal we have metallic paints, but say you would want to paint something without the metallic paints, or not metal, let's say reflective green armor or something. And these, like, to sell that, you need to think about like how does the light interact with the object. And I think the easiest one is like, if I have cloth that's like matte, it's going to be diffuse. So probably I don't want like a white spot, like I want more like a general gradient. Whereas if I have like a really reflective something, probably I want that like really stark reflection somewhere when the light is completely bouncing off it.
Yeah, exactly. And something I learned as well is that like minute layers actually make an optical illusion quite good, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's not something that I really appreciated before, but now I'm doing like 40K. I'm doing like more, let's say, like more highlights compared to the fantasy stuff. When I had like 40-man units, I wasn't doing so much highlights. But now like like these like layers that you do, it actually does make quite a big difference, and it sort of builds up an optical illusion when you're trying to do like light effects and things like that. Like these like little dots and stuff like that actually does make quite a big difference.
Yeah, and it's, to be honest, this is like one of the best parts about painting 40K is that a lot of times your models have like one main like material. Like if you look at an Eldar guy and he has like his like armor, let's say, and that's like the main part of the model. Other, of course, the face is important, whatever, right? But like if you just spend some time painting the armor, like you can really like spend the time there and get better at painting it, and then you can just go like, he has like some detail, painted black, painted whatever color, some metal, and then it still looks really good because you spent the time on the important stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas
exactly.
with a fantasy model, it's like fucking belts and pouches, and then he has 2 different types of armor and chainmail and leather, like cloth pants and leather belts, and a face, and then gloves and a weapon, and it's just like so much shit that you don't have time to spend any time anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I also, with the Eldar, I'm also doing the eyes in the same way as I'm doing the gems.
Yeah.
And so it's also it's also quite fast because I do it with the same colors at the same time. But I think what I'm trying to say is that the eyes are also still really important in 40K.
Yeah.
When you're looking at models, I think the eyes are things that you catch really well. Like Alex, if anyone's on the Discord, you can see Alex's Space Marines where they have these green eyes, and he's done like a glowy eyes, and it's worked out really well. And the models look really good because he's done like good eyes. Eyes, bases.
Yeah, it sells
Eyes,
the whole thing
bases.
for
All
sure.
the time. Eyes, bases. Most important things.
Yeah, I agree. Like it like makes the thing come alive. Like when it doesn't have any eyes, it looks really flat.
Yeah, yeah. So always paint your eyes, and you can use this same technique for painting eyes. So Casimir, I'm gonna take a quick break now, and then we'll come back and we will talk about the event in Ireland next week. Welcome back. So we're talking a little bit about all the new stuff that's happened in the 40K over the last few weeks. And now we're going to go over what we've been doing in the last few weeks. I mean, I don't know when the last time we recorded was, but we've probably done quite a lot since then. At least I've done quite a lot since then. But what have you been doing, Casimir? What have you been doing in the last weeks, months, etc.?
So I've been preparing for going to Ireland. Try to get like 1,000 points, at least like let's say battle ready or whatever they call it, where I've been like trying to go like, okay, well, how much of this do I need to paint for it not to just like look like shit on the table?
And how's that going?
So I would say pretty okay. Like it turns out the demons is actually just a fucking perfect army because you could just everything is kind of one color. It's like one material, right? Like it's just skin most of the time. So if you go like, oh, my plague bearers are going to be green, and then you could just airbrush the whole thing, green with a gradient, and then it looks like it's almost painted already. Perfect.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you're
the problem is I decided to also have Space Marines. Space Marines are fucking horrid to paint. Or the Chaos Space Marines, at least. That's what's holding me back.
Are you trying to do everything at the same level as the other ones, or are you just doing it like, say, like 3 colors, like battle ready, whatever you said?
Yeah, like right now, I think the goal is that the Space Marines, I would like do the trim and like the other cloaks or whatever, and then like put a wash on that. And that would be like battle ready, let's say, and then I would come back later and do the highlights.
Yeah.
And I think I've talked about this before, but I realized that like I actually really like coming back to half paint them all because you get to just do the fun stuff. I'm not too.
I'm certainly the opposite. I can't do it. I think never have I ever gone back to paint a model.
Yeah, I've done it quite a lot now, especially when I haven't had like a goal. When I've been going back to my scheme and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna like actually fix up this model a bit, and it's just fun. Like you don't have to fucking base coats and washes and all this kind of shit. You just go like, oh, I'm just gonna highlight it a bit, spend 20 minutes, bam, looks like so much better.
And how far are you? Have you painted everything in the army, or like what's the?
No, so. I just now I think I've finished up the bases. So like basically I've airbrushed the demons and then I've painted bases, and then I'm gonna do this like 3-color thing for the Space Marines. And I've just finished up the bases for all the demon stuff. So I think that's kind of like done enough, so to say. So now before we go in basically a week, I guess, before we go. Or a bit more than a week, perhaps. So then I have like essentially 5 Space Marines to do. So I think that's kind of it's realistic even with all the other shit that's going on in life, let's say. But I got maybe something I could talk about is that I got hold up a bit on the way because for a second I thought, okay, well if I don't want to paint anything extra, I could just like add in a Great Unclean One because. That's like one thing, and it's all flesh. So I could in my head, I was like, I'm going to build it, and then I'm just going to airbrush the skin on the whole thing, and then it's going to look basically, then I paint its weapon, and it's just going to look like it's basically painted. And it's also going to be way better in game because it's just a huge fuck up monster, However, I own a Glotkin from like way back in the day that I bought secondhand. And I thought like this would be a great idea to like just reuse them all I already own. I think I bought it because I had to use it in my Warriors army or something like that. The thing is that when I bought it, it was like sprayed black, so I couldn't tell that it was actually completely fucked. So
So you
Like,
bought
it
it,
turned
you
out
bought
when
it second hand, but it hadn't been built correctly.
yeah, exactly. So I think the person who had built this was either mentally challenged or a child. This is the only two options that I can imagine.
Or both.
Yeah, because like
A
they
mentally
had done
challenged
no,
child.
yeah, perhaps because they had done like no mold line removal. Which I mean, to be fair, it's fine if you don't care about the mold lines, but there are also like mold lines and these little when you clip it off the sprues that are on connection points, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't remove them, the parts don't fit together. And like the Glotkin is like a modern Games Workshop kit. It was released in the end times, and so it's like made of a million parts that all like slot together, but they slot together really well, So, but if you don't clip away the little plastic like things where they slot together, they're not gonna fit. And because it's like it's like a mosaic of pieces. If one piece doesn't fit, that means that the other pieces don't fit, and it's like the problem gets worse and worse as you build it.
Okay, so what was your solution to the problem?
So I started looking at this shit, and I was just like, okay. First, I thought like what I will do is I will just merely put the sculpt over all the gaps,
That's what I
and
would've
it will be
done, yeah.
fine. Exactly. But then I started like, kind of moving it around to see that it was glued properly. And that's what I realized, that this person had like glued it together with some like super weird plastic cement. Like it wasn't like super glue. It was still like kind of, the plastic was like half melted, but it left like this like really thick, spongy residue, which meant that like the parts were like, they weren't stuck together. They were like kind of half stuck, so like you could like wiggle them around. So, and if you wiggled them too much, they broke off. So I like broke off a few things.
At least
So,
it's like a no-go model, so you can get away with it looking like a bit like damaged and tatty.
Oh yeah, I realized after a while in that underneath the black spray, they just put this like glue over a bunch of shit as well. So it was just kind of fucked, like like nurgly and just melted plastic. So I started like pulling the pieces apart, and then eventually I was like, I got to like I first pull off all the horns or whatever, and then I was like, oh, I wonder if like this part, like this big part of his back was glued firmly, and I started wiggling it back and forth. I'm like, no, it's not, and then like rip, and then I just like ripped it all apart, and I was like, oh.
So
okay.
I guess in conclusion, you didn't manage to build a great and clean one.
No, so I ripped this whole thing apart, and then I started reassembling it. But then once I cleaned off all that glue, it like the parts didn't fit together anymore. So I started gluing it, and I realized, okay, well, I'm gonna have to like glue it all back together, but then still sculpt on top of all the gaps and all this kind of shit. And then I just realized that there's no way I'm gonna finish building this for Ireland and then also paint it. Like maybe I could build it in time, but not paint it. And then I thought, well, fuck it, I'll just do something else.
Fair enough. So what did you actually end up painting?
So I painted 2 beasts of Nurgle, 10 plague bearers, a burning chariot, which is like this chariot with a big flamer on it, and then I still need to do like 3 chosen, and then I have like I have this like converted Chaos Lord I did, but I also have like a Chaos Lord that I painted way back in time that's not that well painted, but he's actually painted, so I might just take him instead, depending on how much time I get.
Okay, so you're going to be between now and the event next weekend. You're going to be doing a bit of painting, just try and catch up.
Yeah, it's actually just like get a few Space Marines painted, which I think is
for
pretty realistic.
the record, I did roll my eyes when you said 2 beasts of Nurgle.
Yeah, oh, good. Oh, that's it. Did you know, like, before the updates of the rules, I could actually have had 3, so I felt good about myself, because I was like, I'm actually kind of restricting myself in the OP stuff, but now the limit is 2, so I'm actually just at the limit.
So now you're power gaming.
Yeah, exactly. Now I don't even have the moral high ground anymore.
Well, I rolled my eyes when you said 2 beasts of Nurgle. I was like, oh, fuck's sake. We can talk about that later.
Yeah. It's gonna be really interesting to see if other people are gonna struggle as much as you did. Like, is it just gonna be like the menace of 1,000 points, or are they just gonna die straight away? You know.
Well, I learned a lot of things in my one game that I played, but we can talk about that in a second.
Sure. Okay. So what have you painted?
What have I painted? I've done all sorts of stuff, I think, and since we podcasted last. Firstly, I have to give my daughter her dummy again. Come here. Come here. No. Hey, let's just calm down a little bit, hey? Hey? There we go.
Telling a woman to calm down already. Fucking misogynistic pig already. Crazy.
She listens to me. She knows who's in charge. For now, at least, until she starts screaming in 5 minutes. But yeah, so I've done quite a lot. I think I feel like I've done quite a lot in the hobby. That's good. Okay, yeah. So I did the warp spiders. I've built 2 walkers, and I'm actually currently painting them.
Yeah, that was like a bit of a conversion, right?
Yeah, they were the ones I got from China. They're like wasps or something like that. Because I thought the normal one's a bit derpy, so I bought these 2 from China. They're quite cool. I did the Rangers.
Yeah,
the
I
Rangers
think they're like forgeable ones. Like from the start.
Yeah, exactly. They were forgeable ones, but they look like way more interesting than the
for sure
other ones. Yeah, and I painted the Rangers, the 5 Rangers. They came out quite nicely. Like, I wasn't sure. I did like camo armor and then like camo cloaks, and I wasn't sure if like the camo armor and the camo cloak was a bit too much camo, and I think it is a bit too much camo, but everyone was saying that it looks better, so I just did both.
I'd like, so when you say camo armor, they have like this let's say tiger stripe armor, and I just think they just look so glam rock, and it's amazing. It's perfect. They look like, like back in the day where like, if I'm imagining like Vietnam War era guys who are just like, man, I want to get camo, and then they just like get a gay outfit instead, And for me that's perfect.
Tiger stripes. Yeah, they look quite cool. I'm quite happy with how they turned out, actually. So I painted those guys. And I've been buying a lot of stuff. I bought like a combat patrol. I bought some fire dragons. I actually built the second unit of fire dragons. I bought some howling banshees for a second unit as well. So I've bought 2,000 points now, and I just have to build it and paint it. I think I'm at like 1,500 points painted now. So
you're just like doubling up on all the aspect stuff. That's the plan.
Yeah. Like I have like a list in mind, which I've like basically taken from the internet, which I think is quite fun, and I will be playing like a version of that, I guess, for like Dublin. And we can talk about that in the next section. Wait, go.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Exactly. So then to finish up, we're actually going to go to our first event.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened quite quickly. Like I remember, like my New Year's resolution was to play a game of 40k, or something like that, and I've already played like 3, and we're going to a tournament, and I've painted an army and everything. So,
yeah, dude, you've been speedrunning it for sure. Like, I feel like I'm more like taking it a bit slow, but to me, I'm like, I still like the game has been really fun so far. So, like, I just want to continue.
Yeah, I mean, my speedrunning has been partly because I've been stuck inside with the baby, partly because I knew I was going to have a baby, so I knew I needed to get 1,000 points painted as soon as possible. Like, there was a lot of thought into the reasons why I've been speedrunning it. But also,
yeah, exactly.
I'm very efficient when I paint, so yeah, I can do a unit in a week.
Yeah, I'm the opposite, and I mean to be like in my defense, I also managed to like pick a faction that's just not that fast. But
Again.
I think if I just like skip the fucking Space Marines and just do demons, then we're in business, baby.
Okay, so the event next weekend, we're in Dublin. It's in like some local game store. It's 1,000 points. That's basically all I know.
Yeah, exactly. I think the one thing that might be special is that they've adjusted the event for people not having the decks of cards with the missions because they sold out instantly.
Okay.
So it's like you can. I think there's like 2 standard missions for each round that you just like get automatically instead of drawing. And there's like two general ones. So you can do secondaries even if you don't have cards, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I have cards because I made my own.
Yeah, and I think it says in the pack that you either do this or you just use the cards. So
Cool. That could be fun. As I said, like I don't know how easy it will be with 1,000 points, but we can try it and see.
yeah, fuck it.
So you're bringing your chaos/demons/.
Yes, I'm bring
Demons?
the Shadow Legion.
Okay. So, I mean, we talked a bit about Shadow Legion, I think, in the past, but maybe just reiterate it for me right now. Like, what does Shadow
Yeah, so-
Legion entail, and what's actually your list?
So basically, it's like it's the detachment if you want to do undivided Chaos Space Marines with demons, and essentially you're technically playing demons, but you're allowed to take up to half of your force from the certain units in the Chaos Space Marine Codex, and it's like basically all the like normal infantry stuff, no special characters. So like no vehicles, but you can take all the like Space Marines for jump packs, normal Space Marines, elite Space Marines, like Terminators, stuff like that, essentially.
Okay.
And the deal is like all those Space Marines get Deep Strike, which like all the demons have Deep Strike because they're coming in from the warp, and now technically these guys are as well. And then you get some like other bonuses to your demons, but it's essentially a very like teleporty type of list.
Cool. I mean, when we played it, you did a lot of teleporting.
Yeah, which is, I mean, I like you. You're right. Teleporting is fun. Like it's really like it really makes the game way more dynamic. And I think also for when you play something like Demons, it's kind of important because most of you guys, there's no like transports, right? Like most of you guys are just like running around on foot.
Yeah.
And maybe some things fly. So like getting to teleport makes the game way more interesting than just going like, oh, I'm just gonna move 5 inches this way, I guess,
Yeah, I also have a teleporting list, so.
Yeah. So should I go into what I'm
Yeah,
bringing? Then?
let's tell us what you're bringing.
Yeah. So basically, I have a bunch of infantry in this list. So I have 10 bloodletters, 10 plague. What the fuck? Plague bears. That's what they're called. I was like forgetting my basics now. Then, oh shit! I'm just bringing it up here so I'm not making mistakes. Then I have 2 Beasts of Nurgle, of course. They're running as like 2 separate units.
Fuck.
So like technically, I could actually take 2 units of 2, but I think 2 single ones is way more than enough. And then I have 2 more. Then I have like a burning chariot, which is this like it's like a flying like flaming vehicle kind of, and the soul grinder. So that's like basically the only tank you can get in Demons, which is a big walker. That's all the demon stuff, and then in the like Chaos Space Marine stuff.
I was about to say that's quite a small army, but then you have another half.
Yeah, exactly. I have another 345 points. So I have a Chaos Lord who's going to be like the one character, and he's joining a Unit 5 Chosen. So that's the elite guys with like they all have like power weapons and power fists and stuff like that. And then I have 2 units of 10 cultists.
Cool. That sounds like quite a fun.
So
list.
it's like. Yeah, it's like I think it'd probably be good because I have so much infantry, I can score pretty well. Like the thing I think it lacks is that it doesn't really have a lot of like punch. Let's say. I think that like the Soul Grinder is pretty okay. The Chosen with the Chaos Lord are obviously quite good in melee, but then it's just like a bunch of stuff. Let's say.
Yeah, but I mean, we're also not there to take names, right? We're just.
Yeah, exactly.
Just trying to play the game a bit and have some fun.
From judging from the very little I played, it does feel like just having a bunch of dudes that can just go stand places is actually really good. Like it might even be better than having guys who are really good at killing stuff.
I think the killing stuff is not that important.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't really matter that much unless like your strategy is, I'm just gonna kill everything before my opponent can do anything.
Yeah. I think I've also realized that I've again picked an army that just like ignores a bunch of rules of the game because like you don't really need to care about cover when you play demons because you have an invulnerable save that doesn't benefit from cover. So you just like put your guy either you put them out of line of sight or you just put them wherever you want, and that's like very. I don't know if it will get boring at some point, but it's very easy to play. You know, you don't really need to think about it so much.
Yeah, no thought, which is perfect. Perfect if you've
Yeah,
been
it's
on
like
the
it's like
pints.
yeah, like with the vehicle, for example, when we played, I just realized at some point, I'm like, why am I worrying about anything? This is so big, I can't hide it. So I'm just gonna like march it up the board and then just hope I roll 4+ saves. You know?
which was working for you.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, let's see if this sheep dice can hold up for a tournament as well.
One bad thing about this tournament is there's no bar, as far as I'm aware.
Well, okay,
So
maybe, but we bring our own stuff, I guess.
it might
Or
be a dry one. Yeah. All right. We can. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
oh. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure we could catch up afterwards at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me take you through what I'm bringing. I just have to bring up the list.
Sure.
New recruit. Where are we? Okay, so I'm playing Seer Council, which is like.
Is that a different one from when we played, or?
Yeah, I was using the Warhost before. So Seer Council
Yeah.
basically gives me like a teleport thingy.
Oof.
So I have Eldrad Ulthran, which is like a special character guy, and he gives me like lots of CP and has some fun stuff that he can do. I have an Autark with a Starglaive and a Dragon Fusion Gun.
That's like the Melta thing, right?
Yeah. So he's like a combat character with like a damage-free combat weapon and like a melter gun. So he can spray hot.
So like a mini fusion or whatever.
Yeah. He's like a fire dragon gun basically.
Yeah.
Which means he can spray hot melter on your face.
Perfect.
Which is
what all the boys want.
Exactly. And then I have just got to unlock my phone again, a fast skier on a Skyrunner. And because I'm playing Seer Council, like the fast seer on a Skyrunner is quite important because it means that all my stratagems are like within 9 inches of a Psyker, so he can run around and do stuff. And then I have just a one Warlock, which is like just a single character to run around.
It's like a mini Psyker, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just to have another Psyker if I need one. And then I have my 11 or 10 defender guys who are like just the guardians who have the guns. And they have a Bright Lance in the platform. Just
all the names right.
Yeah.
Good.
Gotta get the names.
What are their shooting weapons called on the
Shuriken rifles?
Isn't it? Is it a Shuriken catapult? Maybe.
Yes, that is correct. But I've just finished my beer, so I'm somewhat safe because it's too far to the fridge, and I have a baby drinking in the other arm.
Yeah, I think I think maybe you just save that one up until next time.
Yeah, I'll save that one. I owe you a swig.
A whole sip, perfect.
And then 5 fire dragons with an Exarch with a fusion gun, 5 howling banshees with the Exarch with the executioner, 5 rangers, 5 striking scorpions, and the Exarch with a scorpion claw, just because that's what the model's got. And then I have 3 wind riders, which are the jet bike guys. And they have shuriken cannons, and then I have 1 Wraith Lord, which is like the robot, and he's got a Ghost Glaive, 2 Flamers, and one missile launcher, and 1 Bright Lance. And that's my list.
Nice. So I mean, in comparison to before, it seems like you just kind of you have a bit more stuff, I guess, by dropping like I guess you had like a vehicle last time.
Yeah, so last time I had the tank, and I figured the tank is like 130 points of like stuff that is not scoring me objectives, and at 1,000 points, I think I need another unit rather than another like a vehicle to walk the units around. At 2,000 points, it makes sense, but like in 1,000 points, I was like, the vehicle doesn't really make sense, and
No, I think you're right, and also if somebody like people will probably have some like anti-vehicle stuff, so there's probably a good chance that it just gets popped as soon as it comes out of anywhere, you know.
Yeah, I mean, generally that's how Eldar work, to be honest. They get popped as soon as they come out.
Stuff to hide.
Yeah, and I've added the special character, which I think, it seems to me like all internet lists have this character. So maybe I should take it as well, and I've taken... This is what I've been doing in the hobby. This is the one thing that I was actually doing. I painted this guy, and I did the conversion and everything like that. That was the one thing I was missing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that was it's a really cool mole, and you did it really well as well.
Yeah, the
Like, it
conversion
looks
was
fantastic.
a little bit tricky. Like I was like, I want to do a conversion on this because the regular model looks a bit like derpy. So I was like, okay, what can I actually do to make this more interesting? So basically, I just swapped the arms around. So I put the staff into the other hand, and did a little bit like pinning, like a bit of modeling, and then I added like a right hand, which was from the Banshee kit, I think. Oh no, it was from the Ranger kit or something like that. Just like a.
That's where you got the hand. Okay.
Yeah, an open hand, and then I put the sword on the back. So yeah, it was quite a nice conversion. I'm quite happy with it, and then the paint job I think turned out quite well as well.
Yeah, it turned out really well.
Yeah, so that's my list. It's not really like, yeah, it's kind of same as you. Like it's kind of what I have. It wasn't like not much thought went into it. It was like, okay, I want to play Sea Council. Like, how do what models fit into 1,000 points, and this is what I came up with.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that sounds good. I mean, I think as long as you have a bunch of stuff, so you at least get to do things, you know, then I think it will be fun.
Yeah, and in hindsight, now we've talked about it, I'm like, yeah, I have quite a lot of units, so that should be good for the objectives.
Yeah, exactly. And I think again also like it's if you just have like maybe one or two really big things, you know, it's maybe awesome when they don't die, but then you also have run that risk of it just like, oh, they died quickly and now I don't get to do anything. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think.
And if there's no bar, and you don't get to do anything, oof,
Yeah.
bad time.
Yeah, you take a tank with a unit inside, which is like a quarter of your army, and it gets destroyed in the first turn. You're like, okay, I can't even go to the bar and console myself. Like,
Exactly.
it's going to be a long day. Yeah, like who else is coming? We've got James coming, Fraz is coming, Andrew's coming.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe Bose is playing as well.
Yeah, maybe. So it might be 6 of us.
Yeah, that's a pretty good showing.
Yeah, could be good. And I think a lot of the boys are painting to try and get everything ready in time. I think a lot of the boys are not going to have everything ready in time. At least all my shit's painted, so...
I think you'll probably be the only one. Like, I have a feeling that the rest of us will... Like, I'm sure Andrew will probably be like me, where it might just be, like, undercoated a bit. And, Fraz... No, I think Fraz might have everything. I have a feeling he might...
Painted.
He has, like, 800 points painted, I think, or something like this. So I think he'll be okay. But I think James is just, like, procrastinating. So I don't know if he'll have it, like, actually completed.
He's just been painting too many Bretonians.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the boys bring in as well. Like, it should be quite fun. It's one day, so I think we're doing 3 games.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's 3 games. I assume we're doing like just short rounds because it's just 1,000 points. Shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I think basically the next show will be what happened at the tournament. I think we can probably go through our games a bit, and we as a podcast we're not normally doing battle reports, but I think because it's our first tournament, it actually might be quite interesting to do it.
Yeah, let's see how it turns out. I think we'll know after playing those 3 games. We'll know if it's interesting enough. Or not.
We'll know if the 6 months that we spent painting armies and buying stuff has been worthwhile, or if we hate this hobby and we just don't want to play anymore.
Yeah. Well, I've like to me, it's like like I think this is also how I've gone into this 40K journey. It's like to me, it doesn't actually matter so much if it turns out that the game is like not super amazing. I'm also just happy to have like done the hobby and discuss stuff. Like it's been enjoyable as such anyway.
Yeah,
Like I think I'm at the stage where I don't need everything that I paint to be reusable for like 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. But I think actually after my first game, I was pleasantly surprised at how fun it was. So I think there's quite a lot of legs in this. Like, what I'm more worried about is, okay, when 11th edition comes, how much will change? And will it still be
It's
fun?
gonna be fucked, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the more you play, the more the editions become like jarring shifts. But I think also if we're still kind of beginners, it probably won't matter too much.
No, I agree. But yeah, we're going to have a first tournament very soon. So at this point, I think we're going to close up. We should say that like we have the Discord, and it would be really nice to get a bit more interaction. So invite your friends, invite your enemies, invite your dog and your cat and your boyfriend and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's like open to anyone for sure. So if you're a listener and you want to chat or just share upsetting memes with the Danish people and with Ras, it's a perfect place.
So back when we were doing Ninth Age podcast, we were getting about 300 listens every episode, and now I can see that we get about 30, and I only have about 15 friends who play 40K. So I know there's at least 15 people out there who are listening to this who are not my friends. And to be honest, I don't think all of my friends listen to this either. And we have about 15 people on the Discord. So if you're listening, come and join the Hammer Time Discord. I'll put a link in the show notes. And get involved. We also do like painting nights sometimes on the Discord where we sit and chat shit and paint. And I mean, I was also thinking about maybe we do like a live show or something like that. I don't know. We figure it out. But the more people that come on, the more the community is grown. And if you want some tips on your hobby, or if you just want to share like stupid memes or dick pics with us, it's also fine. So yeah, just come and join us, and you can also like send some questions in for the show, and we can read them out and that kind of thing. So yeah, join us. We want more friends. Casimir and I we met through the podcast, so you never know. You might be the next Hammer Time podcast host if you want to get involved.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, how do you meet friends? Well, just start a podcast, man.
Yeah, so with that, we will see you on the next episode, probably from Ireland.
Sounds good. See you then.